look at this.
If that doesn't look like commitment, I mean...
No! This is literal garbage. So in today's episode, we're talking about useful 3D prints. So here's the thing. If I could pick one tool to have in my shop, which would be a key tool, it's a 3D printer. At least for the work I do, the kind of stuff I like to build, a 3D printer is beyond useful. Like it's like you make something imaginary on your computer and boom, into realities. So it's time that I show you a few cool and useful 3D prints. This right here is a little SD card holder box, so you can put your SD cards in there, keep track of them. Okay, pegboard. There's so many different, like a lot of the attachments you get are just hooks. Hooks, sometimes loops. But what if you want a dish? Just like that. So when you're taking something apart and you got little tiny screws, you can put your tiny screws right into there and it keeps track of them. And look at that. This, oh, there we go. Look at that. See? This was designed on a 3D printer and it goes in just like that. And you can also make hooks if you want as well. So it's all about the practicality of the 3D printer because you can make anything, right? I had a project, which was a few videos ago. And if you watched it, you already know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't watched it, no, I just almost broke it. That was close. It is a jet scooter. The point is, these were 3D printed. 3D printed right there. This right here, this little box, 3D printed. So side note here, I was 3D printing and talk about just like problems that need to be solved. Look at this.
If that doesn't look like commitment, I mean, I don't know what does.
I kept 3D printing and we got more stuff. Talking about something else that's cool. This right here is a little 3D print. You can unscrew these and it's like, okay, maybe it's a little loose. But this part, these screws are actually strong. And you can put your drink in there if you want to keep it away from where you're working. And I also got this cool car lift, which is 3D printed. Now there are a few bonus items. If you go back on my YouTube channel, you can see I made a couple 3D printed pumps. And those, I mean, it's 3D printed and it can pump water. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool. Also, a while back, I had a remote control truck and I had this automatic airsoft gun, which this remote hit a button on here, beep, and cool sound effect, huh? And bullets would start to shoot out. If you watched my last YouTube video, you know that I made an arm-mounted blade, which you pull a trigger, boom, a blade comes out. Now, this was awesome, but one thing that I made, which was 3D printed, which I don't know how else I would have made it. It's this little block here, so it's got a block on the bottom, and it's got a peg which sticks up and holds the spring straight. So this piece right here, that's 3D printed. How else would I make that piece? I'd have to cut some metal, weld, and I made it on my 3D printer and it was done in like, I actually don't remember how long. It was probably a couple hours, but I could have done it the day before. Easy, man. And then what you do is you can get these inserts right here, which I'm still learning how to use them properly. Put those inserts into your 3D print, and then you get a bunch of screws, and then you can actually have threaded parts, 3D printed parts, and you could screw them together with screws with the metal inserts which you put inside. So, I mean, it's like endless possibilities here. Now, it'd be nicer to have a larger 3D printer and a faster one, but any 3D printer will do to start. Okay, you're probably wondering, what is that? Yeah, so these are 3D printed, and they're ready to go off the 3D printer as, like, they work. They actually work. They're pinchers, and they work straight off the 3D print. Okay, so let's see if this actually works. I know I said it worked. Okay, maybe it's just a little, it just needs a little, oh my God. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, I hope. Otherwise, I just printed this for 10 hours for nothing. Oh, I see. No! No! Shoot. Okay, so this thing already has some issues, guys. The issue is I used adhesion, which is the mode which basically makes like this skirt looking thing around the whole entire print, and it really just glued all these parts together. This is literal garbage. Does this even spin? This is supposed to spin. Oh wow, there you go. Now it spins. Now, oh, so it's just, it requires disassembly, right? That makes sense. Yeah, you just gotta disassemble it a little bit, you know, just part of it, you know, and then once you disassemble it, then the parts actually spin. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I think it deserves a second try, so time to 3D print a new one, and since that took 10 hours On my 3D printer, I got a smaller version, which is coming up now. Let's go. Yeah, unless of course my 3D printer doesn't want to go to work today. Literally, there's something wrong with the nozzle on this because I can't even get it to come out. Like it trickles out like that and just makes a mess. There you go. That's what happens when you're making a video about 3D printing and your 3D printer doesn't work and you can't 3D print anything else. Well, then the video's over. Because it's Thursday, the video has to go out, and I don't have a 3D printer that works. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.